Hello and welcome back to another not-so-frequent episode of the Top 20 Video Game Music Show. This week's theme, as chosen by the members of our Discord, is a great one. It's the most memorable moments in gaming. You're going to hear a lot of great stories about how these moments were impactful to our Discord members that have chosen the songs. I've opened up the show with this one. This is Aerith's theme that plays after a certain moment in the game I still refuse to spoil. It's memorable because of what has happened, and then when you enter into a battle, instead of rousing, titillating, action-packed action music, you hear this theme, which is a very strange theme to hear while battling. And Chris is in. Hey buddy, high five to your text box. Let's move on to the real picks. The real picks from our wonderful group of people. Let's get to it. Our first selection is going to be from Xenoblade Chronicles X. It is NLA Shuhen, composed by Hiroyuki Sawano and chosen by Rudy. Rudy says this plays in the first area, so it's the one track that plays when you first start exploring that huge open world. Definitely made a good impression. Like a night theme or a calmer theme. Man, what a great track. I'll have to say there's so many times when we're doing this show that I want to play Xenoblade Chronicles. I've never played it, but the music is so good that is brought to us on the show, usually by Rudy, that I want to play it. And then I take a look at it and I think, oh, maybe that's not for me. But maybe I should just step out of my comfort zone. The song is such a cool hybrid combination of orchestra with gloopy, glitchy, futuristic synth sounds, and then also a lot of organic kind of folksy stuff, like violin, like that. I love that acoustic when everything drops down and you got that really percussive acoustic sound. You got the kind of like the tablas, and it really makes it feel like you're in kind of an exotic, futuristic world where, you know, and as you can see, like in the video, you've got this combination of futuristic tech soldiers who also have like throwback weapons too, like crossbow, a sword, alongside things that, you know, probably shoot, and they fly in mechs and stuff. Mechs, Gundams, I don't know. The super jump makes the exploration in X quite different. Oh yeah, Chris agrees with me there. So far, Chris has been very agreeable. We'll see how long that lasts. A beautiful track and a wonderful way to start off the game. I think, because I was scrolling through this footage to get this moment of a video entitled "The First 3 Hours of Xenoblade Chronicles," and I'll tell you, this part does not appear until, this is 1 hour 58 minutes you're looking at, almost 2 hours. So there's a lot of story. There's a prologue, I believe, in the game, in the intro. So you have to do a lot before you finally get to explore for real, and they really give you a big juicy track to ride on. This next track is from Shining Force 3 Scenario 1, released in 1997. The track is called Accident. It is composed by Motoi Sakuraba, and it was on the Sega Saturn. Chosen by Chiptune Baroni. Well, the track is called, we don't have any explanation from Chiptune. Maybe he's got some coming for us. The track's called Accident. Just kind of, you know what probably happened is the protagonist is maybe like 14, and they were left at home for a few hours, and the parents were like, maybe perhaps the whole day. Maybe 2 days. Big test. Everything is going really well, and then they're like celebrating in the kitchen with a nice glass of milk, and they knock the glass over. Psh! Hits the ground. As soon as the glass breaks, parents are home. Not good for that kid. No. Alright, well, Chiptune is not describing anything, so I guess that's what happened. Sorry, parents, about the milk. Alright, this next one is from Toy Story 2, released in 1999. The track is Alleys and Gullies, composed by Andy Blythe and Martin Justra, chosen by Zenmus. Zenmus says, this plays in a dark and rainy level. The toys find themselves in a dirty alley filled with evil toys and lots of surface water. I hear this in my head anytime it rains, and brings back a lot of fond memories. Can feel the frustration. Absolutely, Rudy. That's a real noir sound. And, well, like a really fun, kind of happy, swanky noir. That piano, that, like, super, super cheesy sampled piano, God, it sounds so casino-ish, you know. And also, Rudy said the effect on that guitar earlier on, so cool. That one there. They've like really affected the EQ on it, so it's like kind of honking out and sounding really MIDI. They've sort of like stripped everything else away, so it's one of those sounds that if you were just playing guitar by yourself, you would never want the guitar to sound like that. But in the mix like this, sounds cool. Yeah, it is like a sleazy. It's sleazy, but it's also pretty happy too. I find. Like you're in an alley, a dark alley, but it's a cartoon kids game alley. It's pretty positive. The people playing the instruments are having a lot of fun with it, you know. This is not an alley in Silent Hill. It is a Toy Story alley. Our next selection is City of Tears from Hollow Knight, composed by Christopher Larkin. Chris says, entering the City of Tears, accompanied by its hauntingly beautiful soundtrack, offers a breathtaking view and evokes a profound sense of sorrow and wonder for a city in stasis. What a beautiful description. Let's listen to it. Holy wow. That's really nice. Man, let me turn this down a bit. Yeah. I mean, Hollow Knight's music is beautiful. It's very intimate. They don't use too many instruments. I mean, you have a solitary voice, not a choir. You have a solo piano. You have harp. Really kind of like delicate, pretty instruments. They're not hitting you with like a wall of, trumpets and horns, and everything sounds quite like organic. There's these long, winding chord progressions, some like nice dramatic twists and turns with the chords. Really tells quite a story with the music, and you can do that because Hollow Knight doesn't have any spoken dialogue, at least in English. I mean, Hollow Knight, I've said many times about it, it's one of my all-time favorite games in terms of just how the developers went about designing it, like the way that they chose to pick their battles with it. You know, we don't need voice acting. We'll have them make cutesy noises and there'll be text. The backgrounds will be these drawings, so you don't need to have ridiculous, 3D environments, and you don't have to worry about things from every angle. The color palette is limited. There's a lot of silhouette usage, and none of it takes away from expression. Like if you look at what Hollow Knight is doing right here, and then compare it to like Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn has 5 billion times more polygons, frames, graphics. But when I think of Horizon Zero Dawn's characters, I think of them like this. It's the uncanny valley. They're trying to be so realistic and expressive that it's so hard to make it work. And there are times in Horizon Zero Dawn, like I've said, when baby Aloy is hiding in the bushes because she's an orphan and she's trying to join the other kids and collect blueberries for the teacher. So he holds the blueberries up to the teacher, and the teacher says, "Get out of here, you little freak!" It's quite emotional, but it's when you see just like from their body language and their faces and the atmosphere, and then the music. And the music is allowed to be super expressive and really tell a story because it's not getting in the way of dialogue. So you can just do it so much more. Think of the music in Horizon Zero Dawn has to be much more in the background and muted, and you can have cinematic swells and stuff, but it's just assisting the visuals that you see. It's not telling its own story. Like Chris says, it's a lonely game, and the music as your sole companion most of the time. That's true. Yeah, you don't you meet some friendly people here and there, but it's usually you maybe in a maze. It's dark. There's a melancholy to almost everything, but also a beauty at the same time. I mean, just look at what was this little bug that they just walked by? Look at that thing. I mean, look at it. It's just like, it looks like it's so much pain. It's like yearning, and there's this water coming out of it, and it looks like it's so wrapped up tight, and it's very expressive. But also there's like a friendly kind of innocence and a childlike, don't say wonder. It has a childlike feel, I guess, because of the size of all the characters and their large heads. God, I love Hollow Knight. I can wait for Silksong. I hope they take absolutely as long as they need. Because guess what? There's a fucking million other games out there to play. You all have a backlog. Anyone who's complaining about Silksong, go play your backlog. Our next track from the great Final Fantasy X. This is A Fleeting Dream, composed by Uematsu. The theme when the party realizes that their main goal was not what they thought. The game devs and composer obviously knew of the importance of this, since it's one of those songs in JRPGs where it even replaces the battle theme of random battles, just like we had with the era theme. Let's check it out. I'm trying to remember when this comes up, but I mean the description from Rudy, I believe it was Rudy. So when the party realizes their main goal is not what they thought, that is one of my... Oh, it's Claudio. Thank you, Rudy. That is what I really love about Final Fantasy X, and I'm sure what everybody really loves is, like, it seems to start off kind of so innocently, you know? It's like, you're just these, like, kids on an adventure, and you're gonna go stop the big baddie, and then you realize, you know, oh, this young, innocent Yuna, who's the most happy-go-lucky of them all, other than Riku, maybe. The most, like, the one who seems the most pure, the most innocent, who is a leader, but still young. And then you realize she's marching to her own death. I should have said a spoiler warning. But it's a huge moment, and like you say, when you play this game again, there's so many cool layers with, like, when you know the character's fates in the end, it is so great to see it again and see all their decisions, and before that information is revealed to you. She's just such a wonderful character, you know. You just think of all, like, the huge moments of her, and, like, doing the sendings, trying to help these people find peace after everyone's been killed, and just this life that she leads of like servitude and trying to just enjoy a bit of it, and like the attitude she has. Whereas Titus, he's such a whiner the whole time, but he eventually I would think, learns from her and the whole group to realize your place and just try to think about others. Sacrifice. Get a joy out of giving. Get some meaning out of doing for others. What an amazing game. Definitely the best Final Fantasy of all time. This next one is from The Witcher 3, The Wolven Storm in Polish, composed by, I'm going to try my best here, Marcin, M-A-R-C-I-N, Przybylowicz, chosen by Rudy. Rudy says, not much to say. It is the most memorable part of the game for me. All right. I'll tell you, when I saw the opening part of this video, I thought, is this going to be some kind of a sexual scene?
Na szlak moich blizn poprowadź palet, by nasze drogi spleść gwiazdom na przekór. Otwórz te rany, a potem zalecz, aż w zawiły losu ułożą się wzór z moich snów. Uciekasz nad ranem, cierpka jak agrest, słodka jak bez. Chcę śnić czarne loki splątane, fiołkowe oczy mokre od łez. Za wilczym śladem podążę w zamieć i twoje serce wytropię uparte. Przez gniew i smutek stwardniałe w kamień rozpalę usta smagane wiatrem. Z moich snów uciekasz nad ranem, cierpka jak agrest, słodka jak bez. Chcę śnić czarne loki splątane, fiołkowe oczy mokre od łez. Nie wiem, czy jesteś moim przeznaczeniem, czy przez ślepy traf miłość nas związała. Kiedy wyrzekłem moje życzenie, czyś mnie wbrew sobie wtedy pokochała? Z moich snów uciekasz nad ranem.
Okay, that's real nice. You know, there's a moment here around 1:20, 1:15. Okay, right there. She's singing a long passage here with a lot of big reaching notes, and there's a moment where she sings another one, and she doesn't quite get a full breath in, so it's like a bit of a weaker delivery. Now, if you would just do that in a studio, you might be tempted to, like, okay, we'll do a couple more takes, and that was a bit weak, and let's redo that part. We'll punch in there. I really love that they left it as a whole take, and the singer you're hearing the singer try to deliver that whole run of notes. Here's what I'm talking about. Right there. And she still has a bunch more notes to do after that one. Right there. Isn't that nice? That's what you get with a real performance that you wouldn't get from, AI or MIDI sequencing. I mean, there are some people that are total masters at sequencing MIDI and samples and making it sound expressive, but it's a person singing that. It sounds great. Funny that the scene is kind of bug depending and the singing is divided into various music files. Oh my god. Boy. It's so cool how this just really this was their perfect storm, CD Projekt Red, and it worked. But they had I think they learned enough from the first two Witcher games to smooth out the parts that were weak in those games and just find what they're really good at. And like The Witcher it's all about those really deep quests, side quests, not knowing who to trust, surprise endings to quests, and the darkness of people, and not necessarily being a hero, just being a Witcher, being a guy that people don't really like but maybe they need. And it's not the deepest game in terms of like world exploration, but it makes up for that with the writing. But I guess being based off books really helps with that. Our next track is The Never-Ending Cycle of Reincarnation from Valkyrie Profile 1999, composed again by Motoi Sakuraba, chosen by Chiptune Brony. Chiptune Brony says, the Valkyrie revives the ruined world by reincarnation, sabotaging Loki's plans of Ragnarok. You think Loki would like that? Things being sabotaged. Kind of a mischievous thing to have happened. That is a powerful track. I like that. Oof. So like mischievous. Oh yeah. That is going to some great places. I could see that. Reminds you of flowers bursting open from buds or of dawn. For sure. I think it's because you have that there's like a lot of tension in that lower note where the melody's going because it's going away from that sort of bass note in a kind of a dissonant way that is just begging to be coming back. And then, of course, like long, sustained other notes in the background. And a really epic, sparse percussion. So slow. Beautiful. That's really, really beautiful. The Valkyrie does have some relation to flowers without spoiling. That's cool that you can hear the flowers in the music. Beautiful. Next up, from SMT4, that's Shin Megami Tensei, of course, Battle B8 Lucifer II, composed by Ryota Kozuka, chosen by Zenmus. This plays during the final boss fight against Lucifer himself. Clearly, the song was composed to inflict fear on players. The song, combined with Lucifer's creepy design and the tough as nails gameplay, is more than enough to get anyone's heart beating. So, I mean, the theme of this track to me is like the percussion and the relentlessness of the percussion. When it starts off, I mean, the way that it just keeps hitting on those quarter notes, and like the notes leading up to each strike, and also the strange reverb they put on it, that when you first hear there, it sounds like this demonic hammer being hit in a demonic place, and it's really unsettling. And then later on, it goes in full blast, like a double kick. So it's just this pounding that never stops. It just seems to get more and more intense. And that awesome roar, like you mentioned. Oh man, it sounds like a tugboat is coming, or something much more sinister. And the way that it's kind of like, the way it's two notes there, almost like a dial tone. Like it is a harmony, but it's gross harmony and low. And then when the music stops here, it almost pressed up to get more volume, but because I clicked on the wrong thing in YouTube, up also meant forward. So stupid. Up should be volume, left and right should be back and forth. Anyway, so it's punishing, blah blah blah, relentless. And then just when you've had enough of this, they take the music away and it just sounds like even scarier. It's like, where did it go? At least I knew where it was. Alright, next up. Meteoroids. Spiritfarer. So this is the game Spiritfarer. The track is Meteoroids, composed by Max LL. While guiding souls as they process and conclude their unfinished business, the meteor shower music perfectly encapsulates the game's theme of loss, mourning, and acceptance. Not a particularly unique in itself, however, it often compelled me to put down the controller to fully immerse in its soothing yet unwavering melody. That's really beautiful. I love how much like tension and momentum we have leading up to here. Because you don't even really need drums. If you have something going, you're like marking the time, and you're catching people in this like loop. It's pushing, almost like the Interstellar soundtrack. And then the big swell. And then all of that disappears, and you're just left with like the wonders of the universe. It's like having all that power in a rocket ship, and then poof, you break through to zero gravity. Like you're just floating in the wonders of the cosmos. I'm proud of myself for finding that meteor scene by just scrubbing through a full game walkthrough. Beautiful. All right, next up from a very, very popular game, a legendary franchise, Pokemon Gold and Silver. Champion and Red Battle theme, composed by Junichi Masuda. Let me paint the scene. You are a Pokemon fan who gets to play Generation 2, and the final boss happens to be the silent character you controlled in Generation 1 of Red Blue. Not only that, but he has a super powerful team of Pokemon icons, and is the hardest fight you have ever faced in the game. The epicness of this theme matches the surprise and tone. That's interesting, because from what I've heard, from people kind of poking fun at Pokemon, it's like, you're the only trainer that seems to understand the idea of like paper, rock, scissors, and you battle the champions of the gym, but they only have like one type of Pokemon, and they're just so one dimensional, and then you easily figure it. It's like all they can do is rock, and you have paper, and they're like, whoa, you're so skilled. But now to face yourself with an actual powerful roster, let's listen. an epic theme, man. I love that they keep that a surprise. To fight yourself from the original Red. You adore that steady build-up before it gets frantic. It's an encounter you can't walk away from. Oh. Beautiful way to put it. Yeah, it's nice how it's like so quick here. That slow tempo gives it so much power. Oh, I love that little rising note there. What a beautiful little moment. That's super, like this chord and come down riff. Next up from Utaware Rumono, Mask of Deception. This is Sunset, composed by Junya Matsuoka, chosen by Rudy. While it plays first in the second game, is when it plays again in a specific part of the third game involving someone's mother that the track really hits emotional stuff. Okay, I needed to read that first. While it plays first in the second game, when it plays again in a specific part of the third game involving someone's mother, the track really hits emotional stuff. Let's go. Nice. I love that the really slow tempo to it again. Like a lot of these seems to have had a slow, powerful tempo. But when it's going boom boom na 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 boom ba da da, it's like you're slowly taking these big powerful steps. It's like there's so much pushing against you. Oh, you put one foot down and you have to ready your entire body to move that next foot. It's like you're facing a great obstacle, but the melody is so triumphant. You are winning. It's like you can just imagine like a JRPG character or a Dragon Ball person getting rained down on, and then the power of friendship compels them to push through to a certain victory. Alrighty. This is from Dust, an Elysian Tale from 2012. The track is The Last Sanctum, composed by Hyperduck Soundworks, chosen by Chip Brony. Chiptune describes this. Dust enters the last dungeon to face General Gaius. Sort of have that furry look to them. Almost sounds like Metal Gear Solid in the beginning. It starts off with there's an intimidation to it, but also a courageousness. I like it. It's like the way it first starts. Yeah, this must be the track before, like Chiptune said, when you enter it. I just couldn't find that moment where they enter. It's cool because it starts off sounding very, like, intimidating. But even with the very first chord change, which is coming up, 3, 4, right there. It's such a, like, hopeful, yeah, I think we can do it. Yeah, but still intimidating. Bum. Still intimidating. That extra horn to reinforce the tension. Real nice stuff. This is Uninhabited Island from Skies of Arcadia, composed by Yutaka Minobe, Tatsuyuki Maeda. You are marooned with your lifeboat wrecked. Marooned with your lifeboat wrecked, ship and crew gone, and only this track for company. The moment cuts through the crescendo of adventure, shrinking your world back down to one character and the immediate surroundings. It doesn't have a name on it, but I would imagine that's a Chris pick. That water looks good. Man, visually, I love that massive, sheer cliff face that is standing before your tiny little character. Wow. You know, it's a great track. I like that. It's you know, it's like got a darkness to it, but like a curiosity. There's a loneliness to it, but there's not like that kind of is definitely the music telling you need to go and you need to learn, because we don't know what this is. We don't know what that is. But the bass, boom 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 boom, is also letting you know that you're not in a big hurry. There's probably not going to be any enemies, and you can take your time, and there's going to be a lot to explore, while that higher piece is just pushing you forward. Was Halo 2? Halo 2 was the best multiplayer because it was such a step up and you got to play online. But was the actual story better than Halo 1? I've only played Halo 1. And then when my friends got Halo 2, they just played online all the time. I love that climbing. Oh, it just keeps climbing and taking these like smaller boom, boom. They're called chromatic movements, where instead of like jumping, you just go up one note, which gives it a kind of like boom, 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 like you're edging off a cliff. This next one is from Grandia, Farewell to Sue, composed by Noriyuki Iwadare. Sue, the little purple-haired girl, who did Solace write this, is the classic trope of the childhood friend of the main character. When she leaves during halfway of the game, it's a sign that the main character has to leave his past and embrace adulthood. Sue leaves your party not because she was kidnapped, killed, or forgotten, but because she can't just keep up with the grand scale of a JRPG adventure. I think this theme nicely shows that. I'm very excited to listen to this. Oh, yeah. Chim, chimney, chim, chimney, chim, chim, chiroo. Chimney, chim, chimney, chim. It's this part here. La, da, 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 da. That's way too similar. It's really beautiful though. It's just a bit distracting how similar it is. Yeah. Alright, here's a way for me to have this not be monetized. I'll just put this on the stream. And not the video, sorry. True. Dick Van Dyke. Dick Van Dyke and his English accent, would you call that, Chris? What would you call that? Oh yeah, Mary Poppins. I think when people had said, oh, your accent was terrible, he was like, nobody told me. All the British actors, they were just very polite with him. Like, no, it's great. Next up, from Drakengard 3, the final song, Black Song, White Scales. Composed by Keiichi Okabe, Kokeru Ishihama, Akitaka Toyama. Chosen by Rudy. It is probably the most visually impressive final boss I've seen. The music is an integral part. It makes a lot of sense both in gameplay and story-wise. It is a ridiculously hard boss. I didn't even manage to win. I just watched it on YouTube. Lol. So, the next song is I Miss You from Tales of Fantasia, composed again by Motoi Sakuraba, chosen by Chiptune Brony, who describes it as a third phase of the final boss, another final boss theme, and the first part of the ending for the PS1 port. Let's hear it. That is really powerful. Yeah, the military drums are nice in there. They give it a real kind of important final encounter. And this track just really goes and goes and goes and keeps changing and growing, and it really goes on a journey. Very suitable for a huge boss encounter. I love that kind of that they keep underneath there the whole time. It's sort of a nice little constant. No matter what else the track does, there's that little bit there. It gives it like something to hold on to that gives it a sense of wonder. It's really beautiful. This next one is from Wolfenstein: The New Order, composed by Mick Gordon. Yeah, the track is Ransacked. Ransacked. All right, this is probably gonna effing pound. Are you ready? Oh, quiet start. Oh, it's a waltz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is not pounding. Oh, here's the description, sorry. Ransack plays during the brutal attack on your hideout, perfectly blending profound loss with the protagonist's unrestrained fury and bloodlust. Super epic. Awesome. Pink Floyd, for sure. That kind of like, what's that Pink Floyd song where it like kind of builds up and the girl's like, whoa, whoa. Totally feels like that. Mick Gordon, he sounds British. He probably took that right from Pink Floyd. Paid homage to it. Just like a really strong, simple track that relies on like the difference between the quiet to the loud, keeping things like similar. Just a kick-ass guitar solo. It just builds and builds. Oh, Mick Gordon sounds Australian too. Because I watched the Guitar Pedal show, and there's a guy named Mick who I thought was English, but I guess he's Australian. And it's simple, and I think that makes sense. Like, Wolfenstein is, in its heart, a simple game, and is strong because of it, right? So, that's so cool. So yeah, just like have an idea, do it big. Next up, from Super Metroid, this is Crateria, ZB's Planetfall, composed by Kenji Yamamoto. Plays when Samus first reaches the planet of Crateria. Heavy rain, thunder lights, and not a single trace of an enemy to be found. Is Samus alone on this planet? Was I not playing an action game of shooting aliens? A master course in making suspense through music. This is one of those times where the Super Nintendo's super compressed samples really work in its favor. It gives the overall piece such a claustrophobic sound to it, and like a retro kind of 80s synth. I mean, those like are very much taken from the original Alien film, and inspired by Jaws too. The green claw of the box art, what does it belong to? Oh yeah, there's like two, let's look back at the box art here. Yeah, you've got the two arms there. Some green guy. How is that the actual monsters in Metroid seem so, like too fantasy based? Like that dragon. That doesn't feel like Metroid to me at all. Metroid is this, running back and forth and going through those fucking doors, trying to get on platforms. Crateria, the space pirates emerge. Oh, there's space pirates here. But like, you're playing a Super Nintendo game in 1994, and it's this cinematic while still having gameplay. This moody music, and like you had said, your description, you're expect, it's like more atmospheric than you'd expect, and it's just kind of challenging your perceptions. This isn't every other game where you appear on a screen, there's a bunch of enemies and you blast your way through them. They're playing with your expectation that enemies will come. You need to find them. What's going on here? Amazing stuff. But yeah, and like what I was saying about the samples being so compressed, it really gives it that rain over top and the thunder being kind of muffled. So beautiful. Well, we have another selection from the Xenoblade Chronicles franchise. Was this also, did you pick the last one too, Rudy? This is Gaur Plain, composed by Ace Plus. The first time I got in this area, it gave me chills. Great stuff. What an amazing cover art. Oh, yeah. What a beautiful, uplifting track. Super bouncy, super fun. Just makes it seem like, you know what the melody's like? Ba-dum-ba, ba-ba-dum-ba. It's, it just makes you feel like you're kind of like running and jumping and skipping and you're able to go anywhere. And the drums, they're so bouncy, fun. And I like how the snare drum is that really kind of gives it like a Latin kind of sound on the drums, and also like just fun, you know, innocent feel to them. But you found that the drums and the bass got nerfed? Well, we have to listen to the. Is this the original version? I can't keep up with the Xenoblade lineology of all this. So this is the original. Okay, now we have to listen to the remaster. Let's see, Guar Plain Remastered song. Oh, the definitive edition. Why is it that games with the definitive edition title are usually the worst? I'm just thinking of GTA, but. There's a lot more bass up front. Oh yeah. The drums are just tucked away in the mix. The thing is, this mix is so bass heavy that it pushes the drums completely off to the side. And the drums sound more like just like a more generic sample of a drum kit rather than, or maybe just a person playing the drums. It could be a real person playing them. I don't know. Before the drums were so much more open. Yeah, like, okay, when you first hear this, okay, like the acoustic and stuff sounds more sampled and fake. Oh, the drums just fucking pound. And the drums are just like a big wide stereo feel. Actually, they are still pushed off to the side. No, they're not. They're stereo. Although this could be a mono mix. Yeah, the drum. Yeah, exactly. Like I guess the whole point of this is you're exploring this big open world. And the drums totally match that bounding, running feel through this huge place. What is fucking wrong with remasters? I think that if you want to remaster something, that is a classic and is worth remastering. Just try to improve the fidelity. Why do you have to go in there and just re-fucking do it? And then when I'm playing Final Fantasy X, I'm agonized by constantly switching back and forth between them. Just give me the original with, like... You know, like, the only way you should remaster music is the way they did the N64, those GoldenEye ones and the other ones. The remasters all real instruments? Yeah, so, yeah, they sound like better fidelity-wise, but it's like the mix is way different. The mix doesn't have the drums loud and out front and feeling good. So, let's move on. Next up, from Gremlins and Sunsoft. Oh, Sunsoft always has good music. Batman, that was a great NES soundtrack. From Gremlins 2 in 1990, the new batch, composed by Nobuyuki Hara. About SS and Koraka. Gizmo enters the ventilation shaft where the new batch of Mogwais, before they become gremlins, have locked him in. Almost sounds like the last track we heard. This is what people heard on the NES? Or is this some kind of a remake or something? Or the bass is so good. So good. Apparently they're saying in the description here that the exact same bass samples used here appear in several other games of theirs, including but not limited to Batman, Return of the Joker, Journey to Silius, and Hebreke. And Journey to Silius, I think, was one of the Tim Follin's tracks, or one of the Fallon Brothers tracks. How about a little Batman Sunsoft? What's it called? Streets or something? The streets are mean. Keep the streets clean. Streets of Desolation. Oh man. This is like, this would be such a killer Mega Man track. Jesus Christ. Doesn't that sound so like if Capcom and Konami merged together? Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, this could be a great Contra track. When you finally get the machine gun. They're all machine guns. Oh my god, that bass line. I want to hear Muse cover this. Oh my god. Oh, this is from the PC Engine arrangement. Okay. Using the Sunshoft 58 5-beat chip with Hertz Devil's own build of a family tracker. Oh, this is a cover. I see. Okay, let's hear the original. That was pretty badass. Stage 1 cover. How about the original? Oh, there we go. It's still all there, though. You know that creepy NES delay they put on the melodies? It's so creepy. It's still a badass arrangement, but yeah, that was definitely extra badass, that version. That was cool. Our last track of the day. What a great episode this was. This was great. I loved everybody's take on this one. It's nice when there's a bit of like leeway and an interesting kind of prompt for these. So picking memorable moments, really smart. Let's try to find some other stuff like that. So from BioShock, this is Welcome to Rapture, composed by Gary Scheinman. The bathysphere journey into Rapture is such an iconic and profoundly impactful introduction to the underwater city, which I suspect nobody is immune to. Oh, it's so Batman. Tim Burton's Batman. Danny Elfman's Batman. Just for a few seconds. Yeah, it has a gothic, exaggerated comic, Art Deco, like a darkness, like dark but comic booky, you know. In the music and the visuals. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the 90s one too. That or the original, the Tim Burton ones. What an amazing theme by Tim Burton. Cool. Well, that was a great episode. I don't know what we're going to do next time. We'll have to talk about it. I don't know when we're going to do it. We'll have to talk about it. But it was a lot of fun. And if you're watching this on YouTube, there you can join the Discord. There's a link. If not in this video, it should be there. If it's not, just comment and I'll hand deliver you the link. Custom for you. Or it's on any of our other top 20 videos in the description. And you can join our Discord and you can see how we select the topics. You can chat about video game music with the people. And you can pick the songs that will be featured on the show and you can hear my opinion on them. My priceless opinion. That's right, there's no price. Alright, well, I'm going to press stop on the YouTube recording now.